Okay, language B. So we have been talking the last few days about our complement that comes after a linking verb. Actually, it might have just been yesterday. Um, so our linking verb list is, say it with me, am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. And then our sometimes linking verb list that you must know as well: taste, feel, smell, sound, look, appear, become, seem, grow, remain, stay. That's our linking verb list and our sometimes linking verb. Now, not every time, but sometimes the linking verb I talked about should be blinking on the page at us to look to see if there is a complement after the linking verb that is either renaming our subject of the sentence or describing the subject of our sentence. So we did quite a detailed exercise, on that yesterday. So we're going to continue now with the first complement that comes after a linking verb. It's found the same way as what we did yesterday. I'm just telling you what the words are that we found yesterday. Is when you have a complement that goes back and renames your subject. You know, the subject is a noun or a pronoun that renames your subject, then it is a predicate nominative. You can almost hear the word noun in nominative. Predicate nominative. So if you look up here at the sentence, Charles Lindbergh was a great flyer. Was is our blinking verb. It's blinking to say, look to see if there is a complement after me that goes back and renames or describes our subject. And there is. He was what? A flyer. So flyer is the complement. Now, flyer is renaming Charles Lindbergh. It's not describing Charles Lindbergh. It's flyer and Charles Lindbergh is the same thing. So that makes flyer a predicate nominative. Now, we can reverse our sentence to check out our answer. We can say a great flyer was Charles Lindbergh. And if it makes sense to reverse our sentence, then that definitely tells us that that the word, the noun coming after the linking verb is a predicate nominative. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at think A. It says label the linking verb LV and the subject S and the predicate nominative PN. So Ralph Waldo Emerson was a poet. Our blinking verb there that's just blinking off the page at us is was. LV above it. Who or what was Ralph Waldo Emerson. That's our subject. S above it. And Ralph Waldo Emerson was poet. Poet and Ralph is the same thing. So poet is the predicate nominative. Number 2, Michelle Jones is our secretary. Is our linking verb that should just be blinking off the page at us. Put LV above it. Who or what is Michelle Jones? That's our subject. Put S above it. And Michelle Jones is who or what? Secretary. So that's our predicate nominative because secretary and Michelle is the same thing. So that is our predicate nominative. It's renaming our noun. Number 3, my uncle has been our senator. Has been should be blinking off that page. It is that is our linking verb. P or LV above it. Who or what has been? Uncle. Uncle is our subject. S above it. Uncle has been who or what? Senator. Senator is going back and renaming uncle. Uncle and senator are the same thing. So senator is a predicate nominative. PN above it. That strange looking animal is a llama. Is should be blinking off that page at us. Who or what is animal. Animal is who or what? Llama. Animal and llama are the same thing. Llama is renaming animal, so that makes llama the predicate nominative. Put PN above that. Now look at think B. It says label each linking verb and action verb. Write PN in the blank if the italicized complement is a predicate nominative. Write DO if it is a direct object. Now this is going to be pretty simple because we know that a direct object can only follow what kind of a verb? An action verb. We know that a predicate nominative can only follow what kind of a verb? a linking verb. So literally all we have to do is figure out what kind of verb it is and then put the completer that would complete that on the line. Pretty easy. That field is our playground. Is a linking verb. So playground would obviously have to be a predicate nominative. Field and playground, it's the same thing. It's renaming the subject. The pilot flew his plane over the hilltop. Flew is our action verb, so obviously the completer or the complement is going to have to be a direct object. Pilot flew who or what? Plane. In 1859, Oregon became a state. Became is our linking verb. So obviously the complement is going to have to be the predicate nominative. Oregon became who or what? State. State and Oregon is the same thing. Mom made my new dress. Made is our action verb. Who or what made? Mom. And mom made who or what? Dress. It's following an action verb. It obviously has to be a direct object. Go ahead and look at page 282. So our other complement then that follows an action verb, or not action verb, that follows a linking verb is the predicate adjective. So let me go ahead and erase this right here. And put a few sentences on the board. So if we have the sentence, the sky is red, is would be our blinking verb, our blinking linking verb. Tell us there might be a word after me that is either going to describe or rename your subject. Sky is our subject. The sky is who or what? Red. So is red is our completer. Is red describing sky or is it renaming sky? It is describing, so that makes red a predicate adjective. Okay? You can test it by saying red sky. Does red sky make sense? Yes. Another way you can test it is by saying sky is, put very in front of it. If very makes sense, then it would be a predicate adjective as well. The sky is very red. Okay? Another sentence, the milk taste sour. Now, taste is one of our sometimes linking verbs. So it should be blinking not as heavy as those other linking verbs, but it should still be catching your attention. So taste is our verb. Who or what tastes? Milk. Milk tastes whom or what? Sour. So sour is the completer or the complement, and it is going back and describing milk because we can say the milk tastes very sour and it makes sense. Or we can say sour milk and it makes sense. So therefore taste would be our linking verb and sour would be the predicate adjective. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at Think A. It says label the linking verb, the subject, and the predicate adjective. Our teacher has been sick. Our linking verb is has been. Who or what has been? Teacher. Teacher has been who or what? Sick. So sick is the verb or is the complement that's coming after a linking verb. So that is going to be the predicate adjective because it's going back and describing our subject, the teacher. Remember, we can test it by saying the sick teacher or the teacher is very sick. If you can put very in front of it, it is definitely an adjective. Number 2, this pencil is dull. Dull is our blinking verb, just blinking on that page. Who or what is pencil? That's our subject. Pencil is dull. Dull is our complement, and it is going back and describing the pencil, dull pencil. Or the pencil is very dull. So dull would be our predicate adjective describing our subject. I have been very happy at this school. at this school is a prepositional phrase, put it in parentheses and don't pick a single word out of those parentheses for anything that we're doing. Have been is our linking verb. Who or what have been? I. I have been who or what? Happy. And look, guys, the word very is already in front of it. So that tells us immediately that happy is a predicate adjective going back and describing the subject I. Number 4, the picture looks too large for that wall. For that wall is a prepositional phrase. Put it in parentheses and do not choose a single word out of those parentheses for anything that we are doing right now. Looks is our linking verb, sometimes linking verb, but we obviously know it is today because it's telling us to choose our linking verbs. Who or what looks, picture. Picture looks whom or what to, or looks whom or what large. We can say that picture looks very large or the large picture, and it makes sense. Picture is our large is our predicate adjective. This board feels smooth. Feels is one of our sometimes linking verbs. It is a linking verb in this sentence. Who or what feels bored. Bored feels whom or what smooth. So smooth is the predicate adjective that's going back. I'm sorry, my nose is tickling. Smooth is the predicate adjective that's going back and describing our board, smooth board, or our board is very smooth. Number 6, your answer sounds right. Sounds is one of our sometimes linking verbs. Who or what sounds answer. Answer sounds whom or what right. Right is our predicate adjective. It makes sense to say right answer, and it makes sense to say your answer is very right. It's not just right, it's very right. So right is our predicate adjective. Are you kind to your classmates? To your classmates is a prepositional phrase. Put it in parentheses and do not use a single word out of those parentheses. Are kind is our are is our linking verb. I'm sorry. Are is our linking verb. Who or what are you? You are whom or what? Kind. Now, kind is our predicate adjective. In this one, kind you doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it does make sense to say, are you very kind? So kind is definitely the predicate adjective in this sentence. Our new spelling words are not hard. Are is our linking verb. Who or what are words. Words are whom or what hard. And in this one, hard words does make sense. Hard words or our new spelling words are not very hard. So hard is the predicate adjective. You will be late. Will be is our linking verb. Who or what will be you. You will be whom or what late. And this one is kind of like the other sentence. Late doesn't make a lot of sense to say late you, but it does make a lot of sense to say you will be very late. So late is our predicate adjective. Do you feel better today? Do feel is our linking verb. Who or what do feel? You. And you do feel whom or what? Better. Better is describing you, so that is our predicate adjective. Look at think B. Look at that beautiful big old cat beside think B. Number 1, we're going to draw 2 lines under the linking verb. We're going to draw 1 line under the subject and write PN in the blank if the italicized complement is a predicate nominative, or PA if it is a predicate adjective. So a very quick way to check those predicate adjectives is to just put very in front of it, okay? The wind was bitterly cold. Was is our linking verb. Who or what was wind. Wind was what? Cold. So cold is the complement. Does it make sense to say very cold? Wind was very cold. Yes, so cold is the predicate adjective. PA on the line. Habit is the result of practice. Of practice is a prepositional phrase. Put it in parentheses. Is our linking verb. Who or what is habit. Habit is whom or what result. Does it make sense to say habit is very result? No. So result is going to be a predicate nominative going back and renaming habit. Habit and result is the same thing. The swing should be higher. Should be is our linking verb. Who or what should be? Swing. Swing should be who or what? Higher. Higher is our complement. It's following the linking verb, so it's going to be predicate nominative or predicate adjective. Does it make sense to say the swing is very higher? We wouldn't use that kind of English, but it does make sense, and it makes sense to say higher swing. So higher in this sentence is a predicate adjective, PA on the line. Our host was a tall, thin man. Was is our linking verb. It should be blinking on that page. Who or what was host. Host was who or what? Man. Does it make any kind of sense to say host was very man? Absolutely not. So man is not a predicate adjective, but it is a predicate nominative, PN on the line. It is renaming our subject host. The brave boy became a hero. Became is our blinking verb or our linking verb. Who or what became boy. Boy became who or what? Hero. So hero is the complement following a linking verb. It's got to be a predicate nominative or a predicate adjective. So does it make sense to say the brave boy became a very hero? Absolutely not. So therefore that tells us that the hero is going to be a predicate nominative. It only is a predicate adjective when it makes sense to put very in front of it. So hero and boy are the same thing, predicate nominative. Number 6, the ground was white with snow. Was is our linking verb. Who or what was ground. With snow is a prepositional phrase. Put it in parentheses. And the ground was who or what? White. White is our complement following the linking verb. The ground was very white. Yes, very makes sense. So white is a predicate adjective describing the ground, the white ground. These pears look green. Green is a sometimes linking verb. Who or what looks pears. Pears look whom or what? Green. So green is the complement. It's following a sometimes linking verb, which is a linking verb in this sentence. And can we put very in front of it? The pears look very green. Yes, we can. So green is a predicate adjective describing the subject pears. These, I already did that one, I'm fixing to do it again. Number 8, the audience grew uneasy. Grew is our verb. Who or what grew audience. Audience grew who or what? Uneasy. So grew is a sometimes linking verb. Does it make sense to say the audience grew very uneasy? It does. So that means uneasy is a predicate adjective modifying audience, the uneasy audience. Beautiful Joe is a wonderful book. Is our sometimes linking verb that should be blinking on that page. Who or what is Beautiful Joe? Beautiful Joe is whom or what? Book. So book is the complement following a linking verb. Does it make sense to say Beautiful Joe is a wonderful very book? No. So it cannot be a predicate adjective. It must be a predicate nominative, going back and renaming the subject Beautiful Joe. Beautiful Joe and book is the same thing. Go ahead and look at page 283 and look at think C. Move on down a little bit to think C. It says a predicate adjective must modify the subject, be able to explain why the following italicized adjectives are not predicate adjectives. Draw an arrow to the word that each one modifies. She is a true friend. So we have true is our italicized word. She or is our verb. Who or what is she? She is whom or what? Friend. So why can't true be a predicate adjective? Very good, because true is modifying friend. I am, so you're going to draw an arrow from true to friend. I was double checking the directions. I am a very fortunate girl. So fortunate is the word that they have italicized. Am is our linking verb. Who or what am I? I am whom or what? Girl. Girl is a predicate nominative renaming our subject I, and fortunate is an adjective that is modifying the predicate nominative. So you will draw an arrow from fortunate to girl. My teacher is a spelling expert. Is our linking verb. Who or what is teacher. Teacher is whom or what? Expert. So expert is our completer following the linking verb is. It doesn't make sense to say very expert. So expert is a predicate nominative renaming our teacher. Spelling is an adjective that is modifying the predicate nominative, which is a noun, expert. Okay, so your error will go from spelling to expert. New York is our largest city. Is our linking verb. It should be blinking at us. Who or what is New York. New York is whom or what? City. It doesn't make sense to say New York is very city. So it is not a predicate adjective, but city is a predicate nominative. The word largest is an adjective describing the predicate nominative city. Okay? Columbus was the courageous discoverer of the New World. Put of the New World in parentheses. We're not using anything within those parentheses. Was is our linking verb. Who or what was Columbus. Columbus was who or what? Discoverer. Discoverer is our complement or completer that's following the linking verb. So does it make sense to say Columbus was the very discoverer? No. So discoverer is the predicate nominative. What kind of discoverer was he? He was a courageous discoverer. So courageous is the adjective modifying our predicate nominative. Okay? All right, so I hope this has been helpful to you guys. This is one of my favorite things to teach is complements. I don't know why. I just like teaching them like I like teaching fractions. You will complete your language assignment today by doing your interactive worksheet.